It was Michaela's season high too. I don't know if this is the perfect way to phrase this, but what does it take for a rookie to kind of earn the trust of a veteran head coach, and how does that stay or maintain for someone like that?
We talk a lot about staying ready so you don't have to get ready. And, one of the benefits of having a deep team is that if you don't have it one night, somebody else does. One of the challenges of having a deep team is that people deserve to play that don't always get to play. And KK's been ready for every team, but with this team in particular, because she's kind of playing behind Tosh, she doesn't always get probably the minutes that she could get, and depending upon lineups, playing behind AB or Didi. But she's really done a great job.
The Indiana Fever just turned Chicago Sky's Barbie Night into Fever Night. But here's the twist. Caitlin Clark wasn't even playing. How did Kelsey Mitchell and Michaela Timpson step up to dominate the court? And what does this mean for Angel Reese's team? Stay tuned as we'll break down how the Fever crushed any notion of a rivalry and exposed the Sky's glaring weaknesses. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video.
We've been asking you a lot about Kelsey recently anyway, but 35 tonight seems like she was seeing a huge net up there. Where did you see her getting those points, attacking? What was kind of open in that way for her?
So much of the way that she's able to score depends on great screeners, and AB is obviously an outstanding screener, gets her open looks. And getting her the ball on time and on target is important, and I think we did a good job of doing it. Yeah, I think early she knocked down a couple of long jumpers when they were playing zone, so she got some open looks and knocked them down, so that was really good. And then did a really good job of attacking when they went man and making the right reads, making the right plays. And
the media loves a good rivalry, right? Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese, two of the brightest young stars in women's basketball. It just writes itself. ESPN, Twitter, Instagram, all of it. They've hyped this up as some kind of must-watch one-on-one showdown. Every stat, every highlight reel, every post-game soundbite seems to push this narrative of intense competition between them. But here's the kicker. Their so-called rivalry was nowhere to be seen in this matchup. Angel Reese wasn't even on the court, sitting out due to a minor ankle injury. And Caitlin Clark? She was also benched, resting up for upcoming battles. So, what happened next? The rivalry took a back seat to something much louder. The Fever dismantling the Sky without breaking much of a sweat. The game wasn't close.
Chloe had 8 points today too. Just what impressed you about her coming with one day of practice?
Yeah, the ability to stretch the floor. She did a really good job of understanding offense, understanding where she was going to get hers, and then staying shot ready. Sometimes you'll see us go small with Sophie or Lexi at the 4, and with Chloe on our roster right now, we don't have to do that. She has really good size, and she has that same ability to stretch the floor. I like how she was defensively too. She didn't allow any easy entry passes. But she just gives up.
The Fever walked away with a dominant 93-78 victory, their third straight win over the Sky this season. And if you're keeping track, Indiana has outscored Chicago by a combined 77 points across those 3 games. That's not just winning, that's making a statement. The Fever's depth and chemistry completely took over, showing everyone that star power doesn't mean as much if your team can't hold things together when it matters. Though some talk about the Fever like they orbit entirely around Caitlin Clark, this game proved the opposite.
KK, it was going with her early just to see what she could give us on the defensive end.
What went into Chloe and Michaela playing over Didi today?
Yeah, more than anything, they were playing zone, and so bringing in Chloe early and having 4 shooters around AB was important.
Players like Kelsey Mitchell made sure no one forgot her name. Coming off a quiet game beforehand, Kelsey dropped 27 points and reminded everyone why she's been the cornerstone of this franchise for years. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston, fresh off grabbing her 3rd Rookie of the Month honor, continued to dominate the paint. And Michaela Timpson, 14 points with insane efficiency. Every time Chicago made a push, Indiana's supporting cast found a way to slam the door shut. Here's the thing. Everyone wants this to be about Clark versus Reese. But this narrative, it's just noise. The Fever clearly aren't interested in individual storylines. They're systematically breaking teams down and proving they're one of the best squads, even without their brightest star on the floor. And trust me, their depth goes even farther than what we saw here. What happens when the best player on your team isn't on the floor? For most squads, that's a nightmare. For the Indiana Fever, it's just another night of getting the job done. Caitlin Clark might be the headline grabber, but the Fever proved they're built on more than one star. Their win over the Sky was a blueprint of preparation, chemistry, and every player knowing their role. And it started with Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell dropped a career-defining 35 points in this game, and it wasn't just volume scoring, it was precise and calculated. Her work in the off-season, focusing on footwork and lateral agility, paid off in real time. You could see it in how she split defenders and maneuvered into perfect positioning for clean looks. It's the kind of performance you expect from a leader, the kind that not only gets buckets but also sets the tone for everyone else on the team. And while Mitchell carried the scoring load, Michaela Timpson quietly delivered one of her most efficient nights. 14 points may not seem like a headline stat, but when you go 75% from the field, it changes the game. Every time the Sky started to close the gap, Michaela gave Indiana an answer. That's not to mention Chloe Beebe, who only played 10 minutes but made every second count with her energy off the bench. She grabbed a crucial offensive rebound late in the first half that swung momentum right back to the Fever. The paint belonged to Aaliyah Boston, again. Her third consecutive double-double put up 14 points and 11 boards, and she did it quietly, owning the glass and shutting down anyone who came near her. It's performances like this that are turning Boston into a cornerstone player, not just for the Fever, but for the league's future. When a team can play like this without its brightest star on the court, it says something bigger. The Fever's depth runs deep, and these aren't just nice regular season wins. They're sending a message. Is the postseason ready for them? That's starting to look less like a question and more like a warning. The Fever's win wasn't just a flex, it was proof they're evolving into a complete team. When a roster shows this kind of depth without relying on a single star, it's no fluke. Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and the supporting cast just sent a message loud and clear. The Fever are legitimate contenders. Imagine the firepower when Caitlin Clark steps back in, but the question is, can they keep this momentum rolling straight into the playoffs? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the Fever are ready to take it all the way? Because Clark's return? That could make them unstoppable.